Welcome to K Movie Reviews, your ultimate guide to the captivating world of South African film. Paino Love is directed by Mandla N and is available on Netflix. Unfortunately, I wasn't happy with the movie and doing a standard review just felt like a waste of time. So instead, I decided to switch things up and highlight everything wrong with this movie. Sometimes it's more interesting to just break down why a movie didn't work, especially when it had so much potential. So let's get into it. First of all, the movie had an inconsistent tone. It just struggled to maintain a consistent tone throughout. At times it tried to be dramatic, but then shift to lighter moments, which just made it out of place. This inconsistency made it hard to connect with the story or the characters. Another thing is poor editing and non-existent musical score. It felt like the editing team was just handed a list of maybe 15 Amapiano songs and they were just told to squeeze it in wherever they could. Okay? The editing of this movie is just all over the place. The background music is inserted just randomly without consideration for the mood or the context of the scenes. It's just like they were just trying to force as much music in as possible. But it ended up feeling disjointed and out of place. Another one is boring dialogue and unnecessary sex scenes. In this movie, Kwesta and Buntle's character develop an interest in each other. They do explain that they are just childhood friends, right? But it seems like we're just forced to love them and accept the relationship. But anyway, there's this 2-minute long sex scene which just feels unnecessary. This was so frustrating because I believe that there were other scenes that could have been longer but were cut short. And this scene just dragged on. It just seems like they thought that this scene would get people talking, which it did, especially on social media. But really, it didn't add value to the story. This movie wasted dancing skills of Bontle and other characters. In Paino Love, Bontle plays Lerato, a singer and dancer, but the movie never takes advantage of her incredible dancing skills. Instead, she is reduced to hyping up other dancers. I was really shocked. It felt like a huge waste of her skills. Most of the dancing scenes were dull because the camera would zoom in on their faces instead of showcasing their moves. One scene that stood out is when Buntle was dancing and, she was getting arrested at the same time. But, it wasn't enough to make up for the rest, but it was, I believe that it was shot well, directed well as well. And we have to talk about the poor acting skills. The acting from Buntle and Kwesta was just plain boring. They're unprofessional actors, so I cannot blame them. But there seems to be no effort, especially from Kwesta. I feel like he should have had acting lessons or a coach. And if he did, they definitely deserved a better coach. I couldn't deal with the close-up shots. It made things worse. Forcing us to watch them struggle through their emotional scenes they couldn't pull off was just torture. The casting of Kwesta, he's a hip-hop artist and he's a lead in a movie centered around Amapiano, which made no sense. His character was meant to shift into the Amapiano world, but it's clear that he is not invested in that. His character doesn't want that, okay? And a film with such a vibrant genre should have actual Amapiano artists. I believe that they should have at least had actual Amapiano artists, okay? And the casting of Bontle was quite a fit because, she's part of the Amapiano movement on TikTok, doing challenges on all of that. So her casting made sense. But Kwesta, on the other hand, they missed that one. Number 2 is a weak storyline. The storyline was basic and very boring. I was waiting for something to just grab my attention, but it never did. Most of the scenes didn't make sense, and I feel like the narrative dragged on without any purpose. The story could have been more engaging, but it felt like a wasted opportunity that never lived up to its full potential. And then, the last one is just missed potential. Paino Love had the potential to be a great movie, in my opinion, especially with the themes it touched on. One of the key issues it addressed was the exploitation of women in the industry, like when a powerful man feels entitled to legato. This is a serious topic and is relevant, and it could have been explored more in depth. Instead, the execution was poor, and the film failed to fully dive into these important issues. For a movie with such strong potential, it ended up being disappointing. So yeah, that is everything wrong with Paino Love. Are there any things that I missed? What did you think about the movie? And yeah, comment down below.